Want to win without spending a dime? Let's build a deck that slaps and saves. Whether you're just starting out or coming back after a break, today we're diving into the best beginner decks in Master Duel. No wallet required.
I didn't know the darkness was mine. Didn't know it was there the whole time. Secret I told you.
Alright, first deck we're going to look at today is Power of the Dragon. It's got a lot of synergy, it's beatdown focused, easy combos with blue eyes and support cards. You got a lot of high attack stats, simple summon mechanics. Quick tip, if you want to turbo into blue eyes early, just throw out Kaiba Man. This deck includes the cards Luster Dragon in triplicate, Divine Dragon Ragnarok doubled up, 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons, Twin-Headed Behemoth, the Dark Hex Sealed Fusion, Kid Moto Dragon, Lord of D, Lancer Dragonoot, Axe Dragonoot, Kaiser Glider, and Strong Wind Dragon. For spells, you've got the Flute of Summoning Dragon ×2. This is really great for getting out lots of dragons all at once. Got Stamping Destruction. This is a great single target spell trap destruction, as well as a little bit of burn effect. Back to square one. This is definitely a great way to for spot removal for monsters, though you have to be careful that the monster can be targeted. There are a lot of monsters out there these days that cannot be targeted, so be on the lookout before you use this card. Fusion Substitute. This is a great way to get your fusion monsters out without needing to have polymerization in your deck. Rush Recklessly. This is a great card for quick boosts, especially if you have something that's low attack on the field and your opponent's attacking with something that's low attack. This is a great way to get your guy just a little extra bit over. We have Silver's Cry. This is a great way to get your Blue Eyes White Dragon out of the graveyard. Ring of Destruction is a great monster destruction, as well as a massive amount of burn damage. Threatening Roar. Your opponent cannot declare an attack this turn. This is a great trap to spring on your opponent when they move from main phase to battle phase. As soon as they move to battle phase, you flip this up. There goes their attacks. Defense Draw. This is a great way to decrease your battle damage to 0 and draw extra cards. Then in the extra deck, we have King Dragoon. It's a great fusion monster to have on hand. Your opponent cannot target dragon monsters with card effects. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 dragon monster from your hand. Great way to get your Blue Eyes White Dragon out onto the field. Then 5-Headed Dragon. This requires 5 dragon monsters. Cannot be destroyed by battle with a dark, earth, water, fire, or wind monster. And has 5,000 attack, 5,000 defense, so good beat stick. Alright, the next deck we are going to look at is the Magician of Pendulum deck. Let's take a quick look at this. A couple of notes about this deck. It does use pendulum summoning, so if you're not familiar with pendulum summoning, basically you take one monster that has a has a pendulum scale of one number, and another monster that has a pendulum scale of another number. So in this case, Dragon Pulse Magician and Performapal Odd Eyes Unicorn. That allows you to summon any monster whose level is in between those two. So in the case of these two monsters, 1 and 8, you can special summon as many level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 level monsters to the field, as many as you have monster zones. Now the thing with these is that it does take up 2 spell trap zones on your side of the field, so do be aware of that, especially if you're going to be playing something that might be a little too trap heavy or spell card heavy. Let's just go through this. Also, it's flexible board presence, decent spell trap support. Pendulum zones let you recycle key monsters, so don't overlook scale strategies. Some pendulum monsters allow you to swap out for higher or lower level scales. Let's take a look at the deck list itself. We have, again, Dragon Pulse Magician. Now with pendulum monsters, a lot of pendulum monsters are dual purpose. They are both a monster card and a spell card. When they are placed in the pendulum zones, that's the zones on either side to the far left and the far right spell trap zones in your spell and trap card area. When they're treated as spell cards, they have a pendulum effect. When they are treated as monsters, they have a monster effect. Dragon Pulse Magician is a normal monster when it's treated as a monster, and of course it has a pendulum effect for when it's treated as a pendulum spell card. Once per turn, if you have a magician card in your other pendulum zone, you can discard 1 pendulum monster, then target 1 face-up monster on the field, destroy it. Then we have Tuning Magician. Sorry. This is a great card for tuner monster for getting out your synchros, which I will discuss in a little bit. Performapal Second Donkey. When this card is normal or special summon, you can send 1 Performapal monster from your deck to the graveyard, except Performapal Second Donkey. If you have 2 cards in your pendulum zones, you can add it to your hand instead. So that is a great way to replenish your hand presence. Then we have Performapal Odd Eyes Unicorn. Sorry. This is a pendulum effect monster. When its monster effect is when this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 Performapal monster in your graveyard, gain life points equal to its attack. Its pendulum effect: once while this card is in your pendulum zone, when your Odd Eyes monster declares an attack, you can target 1 other Performapal monster you control. That attacking monster gains attack equal to the original attack of the targeted monster on the field until the end of the battle phase, even if this card leaves the field. So basically, if you have Odd Eyes Dragon on the field and Odd Eyes Dragon declares an attack, and you have Performapal Odd Eyes Synchron on the field, Odd Eyes Synchron would gain attack equal to the original attack of the targeted monster on the field until the end of the battle phase. So if Odd Eyes Dragon is attacking and the monster it's attacking has 2,000 attack, then your Odd Eyes Synchron would gain 2,000 attack and would be 2,200 and would be able to do a lot of damage. Alright. Then Performapal Odd Eyes Synchron is another tuner. Pendulum monster. Then we have Time Gazer Magician. Then we have Odd Eyes Mirage Dragon. Performapal Silver Claw. Perform a PAL Pendulum Sorcerer. Wisdom Eye Magician. Perform a PAL Skullcrobat Joker. Perform a PAL Gold Fang. Harmonizing Magician. Perform a PAL Odd Eyes Miniature or Mini Taurus. Alright. And we have Stargazer Magician. Perform a PAL Odd Eyes Light Phoenix. Odd Eyes Persona Dragon. Oath Dragon Magician. Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Dharma Eye Magician. Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon. Dragon Collar Magician. Perform a PAL Odd Eyes Dissolver. And for the spells, we have Pendulum Call, Amazing Pendulum, Pendulum Fusion, Duelist Alliance, Spiral Flame Strike, Pendulum Paradox, Pendulum Halt, Sky Iris, Soul Pendulum, Pendulum Impenetrable, and Wavering Eyes. And for the traps, we have Pendulum Back, Pendulum Reborn, Heavy Storm Duster, Unwavering Bond, and Pendulum Switch. And for the extra deck, we have Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon, Rune Eyes Pendulum Dragon, Enlightenment Paladin, Nirvana High Paladin, which is a special kind of pendulum monster in that it is not only a pendulum monster, but it is also a synchro monster. And then Time Star Magician. So, lots of pendulums in here. If you want to learn the mechanics of the pendulum deck, or the pendulum playstyle, this would be a great deck to start with. And the last deck we are going to look at today is Synchro of Unity. Synchro of Unity is a synchro summoning deck. Basically, for synchro summoning, it requires a tuner monster and one or more non-tuner monsters. Certain synchro monsters, these white border ones down here, require specific tuners or specific non-tuners, sometimes specific tuners and non-tuners. So make sure that you have the right types of material on the field before you try synchro summoning. Now, as far as synergy, this deck has a lot of tuner and non-tuner combos for quick synchro plays. It does give you access to strong boss monsters pretty early in the game. Make sure to prioritize field control with Junk Warrior and Stardust Dragon as far as quick tips for this deck. Alright, for this deck we have Turbo Synchron, Speed Warrior, Nitro Synchron, Shield Wing, Junk Synchron, Shine Knight, Rockstone Warrior, Max Warrior, Tasuki Knight, and Turret Warrior. For the spell lineup, we have the Warrior Returning Alive, Sync Blast Wave, Shard of Greed, Mystical Space Typhoon, Half Shut, Kunai with Chain, and then for traps we have Kunai with Chain, Synchro Deflector, and Limiter Overload. For the extra deck for this deck, we have Junk Warrior, Flameveil Urquizus, sorry, I can never pronounce that card right, Turbo Warrior, Nitro Warrior, and Colossal Fighter. Now, just again to go over this, Junk Warrior requires Junk Synchron. Unless a card states that it can be used in place of Junk Synchron, you have to use Junk Synchron for Junk Warrior. Turbo Warrior, same thing, requires Turbo Synchron in order to summon it, unless a Synchron monster says that it can be used in place of Turbo Synchron. Nitro Warrior requires Nitro Synchron. Again, unless a card specifically states that it can be used in place of Nitro Synchron. In order to get Nitro Warrior out, you would need Nitro Synchron. Now, Flameveil, Oroquizas, and Colossal Fighter, they just require one tuner and one or more non-tuner monsters. They don't have any requirements. Alright. Let's go ahead and see if we can find a quick duel using one of these decks. One thing that definitely needs to be updated, Konami, is the ability to search for a specific deck. Since apparently we're not going to be able to do that, we're just going to do a quick duel with a low-powered deck. Alright. Let's change decks and let's go with the Synchro of Unity. Synchro decks are kind of the deck type that I started with in my competitive Yu-Gi-Oh playing, so it's one of the decks that I'm most familiar with. So let's go ahead and give it a try. We're going to go first just to give you a good idea of how this runs. So first things first, let's do it. Go ahead and throw out that Shard of Greed. We're going to set the Mystical Space Typhoon and the Kunai with Chain. Then we're going to summon Rockstone Warrior. And end turn. Alright. Now, he attacks. The best thing to do is to wait until he attacks before playing Kunai with Chain. We're going to use both effects. The effect that when an opponent's monster declares an attack, target that attacking monster, change that target to defense position. The second effect is target one face-up monster you control, equip this card to that target, it gains 500 attack. Using both effects, does both at the same time. Then during your opponent's end phase, you want to use Mystical Space Typhoon to destroy one of their face-down trap cards. Alright. We have Turbo Synchron in hand, so let's go ahead and normal summon Turbo Synchron. Also with Synchro monsters, you want to make sure that the number of stars is equal. So for Turbo Warrior, it's a 6-star monster, so you would need 6 stars. So I would need at least one more level 1 monster on the field or a level 5 monster on the field in order to get Turbo Warrior out. So let's go ahead and first attack. And we'll attack with Turbo Warrior. Or Turbo Synchron. Then main phase 2. Alright, enter. I'm probably not going to win this match because this deck is, the Super Evolution of Insects is a pretty hefty deck. Let's go ahead and pop Shard of Greed to draw 2 more cards. Alright. Then let's go ahead. Okay. Let's go ahead and normal summon this. Go to battle phase. Attack. It gains 400 during the battle phase, but then its attack is cut in half and it becomes a level 2. Alright. Really want to show you guys how this deck works. But it doesn't look like we're going to get to do that. Alright, let's retry. I just want to show you how the synchro summoning works before we go today. Alright. Okay. Let's go ahead and set these two, and then let's go ahead and set that card. What we're trying to do is get 0 cards in hand. Now let's wait until they attack. There we go. What we're gonna do is use Mystical Space Typhoon. Then we're going to set Turbo Warrior, or Turbo Synchron. Alright. Okay. Let's go ahead and set one. End turn. This is a good example of a good quality link summoning deck. Alright. First things first, let's MST one of those Goki poles. Then let's normal summon activate Speed Warrior's effect. And end turn. Now we have no cards in hand. Maxi is always a problem in Master Duel. But that's okay. Let's change Speed Warrior to defense mode. Set Shine Knight in defense mode. And then end turn. Alright. Okay. Let's just end that. Unfortunately, some of these decks are kind of low power, but that gives you an idea of what some of these decks can do. Alright. Now, next week, next time, we're going to go deep diving into Gravekeeper's territory. The whole control, lockdown, and ancient secrets. Don't miss Gravekeeper's Gambit. It should be coming out in about 6 weeks. So, stay tuned for that. Next week's episode, we're going to be looking at Dungeons and Dragons Online. So don't miss that. And make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you know when new episodes come out for all of these shows. Plus my go live notices for my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Macromaster2015. As well as on here you'll be notified when my Twitch stream VODs get posted. So, till next time, peace out, stay frosty, and hope y'all have a great day.